Hey, this is Mark, and today I've got an iPhone 6 that is no longer taking a charge. Um, so I've got a camera set up now where I can actually kind of demonstrate this. So I'm gonna hook up the charger, and this is what my USB amp meter says. And that is 0 amps being pulled. So looking at this board, it's pretty obvious that it's been worked on already. Somebody has replaced TriStar with 1610A1, which is like the iPhone 5S iteration of TriStar. And I can see that the black coating off of Tigris is gone. Black coating off of the baseband PMIC is gone as well, and the black coating off whatever this guy is. So I can't really explain that, besides, that can happen sometimes when you send it through the ultrasonic. But I'm not really seeing signs of liquid damage on the board. There is a red sticker here, but I can also see that, there's clearly been some work done in the backlight area. So that red sticker could just be because the last tech got some flux on it or something. Another thing I noticed when I was first testing this out before I opened it up is that brightness doesn't get, the brightness doesn't go past about 10%. And that is pretty common in the 6 when backlight fails. Geez. Yeah, Chestnut's missing its coating. Mesa Boost is missing its coating. Backlight driver is not really on there all that great. So yeah, the partial dim is going to be the coil here. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that coil as well, just to get brightness to be full again. Although I really don't like the look of this filter, so I'll probably replace that too. So yeah, first thing we're going to tackle though is this TriStar. And I've got a bridge here now between these two caps. It's much easier to clear these bridges with the hot tweezers than any other tool, really. All right, get a new TriStar. really, really weird that the black coating is gone off all these different chips. You don't see that very often. As easy as the TriStar that was on there came off, it makes me wonder if maybe it was reballed with leaded solder. Because as you can see, at the same temperature, the new one going on with the lead-free solder is taking much longer. That may be why it wasn't working. It was just a, a poor reball. Maybe one of the balls was insufficient. I don't know, but we'll see if this is good enough to get it to take a charge, and then we can work on backlight. So I'm still getting no current pulling through here. Really no need for me to turn the camera and show that. It's you have to trust me that it's still not charging. So I'm going to go ahead and change Tigris as well. Let's see if that makes a difference. Where's my Tigris at? I don't have to use these very often. Just had to check the orientation real quick. I believe it goes like that. Can't see the dot on my chip anymore, so I'll check another. Yeah, so the dot is in this corner right here. All right, I think that should be good. Just want to inspect it from an angle. And nope, look at that. You can see it's not sitting flat. So, gotta go over it again. I thought maybe this side was a little high, but it's hard to tell, looking straight down at it. Yeah, that should be good now. All right, we are still not charging. It's always good to check anytime you start to have any unexpected issues. Just double check that things are still in the state they were in when you started, which in this case they are. I've got the phone's booting, but the Apple logo is very, very dim. I don't know if it's picking that up very well. But there is a white screen, but it's more like gray. So it's always good to know, when things aren't going the way you expect them to. Good to know that you aren't creating new problems. So test at multiple points along the way. All right. Well, I suppose it's possible that this transistor isn't doing its job, but I wouldn't expect zero current draw if this guy wasn't doing what he's supposed to. Let me inspect my TriStar. Yeah, that looks good to me. That should be working. All right, well, I guess I'll pull this guy off and jump him. So this is a transistor that connects battery main to VCC main. You can have some strange behaviors. When this isn't functioning properly. But usually it's like the last time I saw it was in a 5C, and it was like pulling current through USB, but only the current necessary to actually run the phone. So it was pulling like 300 milliamps, 400 milliamps, 100 milliamps, and kind of fluctuating, and it would never go to the normal charging current. So I don't know. The symptoms don't really seem to imply that this guy is bad. But I'm going to go ahead and jump just to be sure. So this basically, it gets a signal that says, hey, it's okay for the battery voltage to be connected to VCC main, which is basically should be all the time pretty much if the phone has power connected. And it connects the two. So if it's malfunctioning, then you won't get a connection of battery to VCC main when you're supposed to. But I would think that, I don't know, that if it completely failed, it shouldn't boot up off of a battery. But hell, what do I know? All right, so I need to figure out, one of these is ground, one is the signal. Oh, I'm sorry, none of these is ground. One is the signal that tells it to turn on, and then the rest are split between battery main and VCC main. So I just need to figure out which ones are VCC main, which ones are battery main, and which one is the signal. And I'm going to ignore the one that's a signal. So I could use the schematic to do that, or I could use ZXW, which is what a lot of people rely on. But the other method is just to, it's what I like to call using my fucking eyeballs. So I can clearly see there's a pad right there that's connected to a VIA and not connected to anything else. So that is obviously going to be my enable signal or whatever. It's the gate on the transistor. And then I've clearly got 5 pads here that are all connected together and 3 pads here that are all connected together. So I know all I've got to do is connect some of these guys to some of these guys, leave that one alone, and I'm done. So no need to pull out the schematics, no need to get out ZXW. If you find that you're like completely lost when your ZXW goes down, then you need to learn to use your eyeballs more. I always get annoyed when people are like, my ZXW's down, I can't do anything. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do. We used to do this work before ZXW existed. It's just a tool that makes it a little bit easier and saves some time. If all else fails, you have schematics. Use your brain. Plus ZXW is wrong a lot of times. Now, what I'm doing now is a little bit overkill. I could just connect 2 of these pads and it would be fine, but yeah, why not? There we go. Everybody's connected now. Battery main and VCC main will always be connected together. Now let's see if it boots this time. You know, it'd be funny if my known good battery and or charge dock have now become known bad, and that's what the real problem is. So I've still got 0 current draw. I'm going to go ahead and rule out the possibility that either my battery or my dock are bad. Pretty sure I have a board in here somewhere that can charge. Okay, got nothing with that board. What about this one? All right, this one is charging at 1 amp. So my dock and my battery are both good. So what is the problem here? Well, I guess I'm going to have to take off this other shield and look around here. This shield is always a pain to get off. Well, I don't take this shield off very often, so I don't have a method that I use all the time, but a lot of times taking the tip off the hot air can really help. Help heat that whole thing up at once. There we go.